In this video, we will be going over how to operate our pneumatic system. The air compressor for our shop lives downstairs in our basement. The switch for the air compressor is here on the center column. The compressor is currently turned on. We have regulators stationed throughout the shop. We have one here on the center column. We have one over by the ladder next to the tool room. We have one by the entrance to the paint room. And then we have a fourth one that everybody always forgets about, which is over here by the garage door. Most of our regulators have two sides to them. They have an oiled side and a non-oiled side. The side that has one outlet on it, that is going to be your non-oiled side, so that is going to produce just air. The other side goes through an oil reservoir and has two outlets. This is going to be your oiled side. The exception to this rule is the regulator by the garage door, which only has an air side. It does not have an oiled side. Most of our tools want to be using the oiled side, the exception to that being our paint sprayer. If you are using a paint sprayer, you don't necessarily want to have oil mixed in with your paint. If we look at our hoses, we will see that they have two ends, a male end and a female end. Our regulators have female end connectors, so we're going to take the male end to make our connection. For the oiled side, it is a push-to-connect connector. So I'm going to take my hand, place it on top here, take the male end, push up. That locks into place. It is now connected. To disconnect, I'm going to grab firmly on the hose and pull down. It's now disconnected. For the non-oiled side, it's a different style of connector. With this one, you want to pull up on this knob, take the male end, push it in there. That pops down. It is now connected. And then to disconnect, it is the opposite. Hold the hose, push up, disconnected. We can adjust the amount of air pressure by spinning this handle. Spin the handle one way, pressure goes up. Spin the handle the other way, pressure goes down. When setting your air pressure, you want to go below what you want to be at, and then crank the pressure up to where you want to be. Most of our tools want to be at 90 psi, which is right about there. For this demonstration, I'm going to be going over staplers and nailers, so I want to use the oiled side of my system. We have a variety of different pneumatic tools that all do different things. The first one that I'll go over is our fabric stapler. The fabric stapler fires these small staples like what you might find in a desktop stapler. The fabric stapler fires some of our smaller fasteners, but it is one of the more dangerous tools that we have because it does not have a safety on it. Meaning, if this were connected to the system right now and I were to pull a trigger, it would fire. Additionally, our fabric staplers are quirky and that they have a tendency when connecting or disconnecting to the system, even if your finger is not on your trigger, to fire anyway. As such, when you're connecting or disconnecting the fabric stapler, in particular, and any of our pneumatic tools to the system, you either want to have the tool pointed straight down or pointed in such a way that there is nobody standing in the potential line of fire. Point straight down, finger off the trigger, pull back on the collar, push forward, that connects it. To fire, you want to take the gun, press firmly against the wood, take your offhand, place it on the back end, quick trigger pull, and it fires a little tiny staple. To disconnect, again, have the gun pointed straight down, pull back, that disconnects it. The second one that I'll show you is our brad nailer or finish nailer. It fires these little tiny brads or finishing nails with a little tiny head on them. So the brad nailer does have a safety on it. In theory, if this were connected to the air system right now and I were to pull the trigger, it would not fire. This safety on the front would need to be depressed in order for the trigger to engage. That said, it is still a mechanical safety. It could fail, so we are going to have it pointed straight down and our finger off the trigger when we are connecting to the system. Take the brad nailer, place firmly against the wood, offhand on the back end, providing nice downward pressure. Quick trigger pull, fires a little tiny brad. Next is our narrow crown stapler. Fires these staples with a relatively small crown or head on them. Again, I want to have it pointed straight down, finger off the trigger, connect to the system, firmly against the wood, offhand on the back end, providing downward pressure. Pull the trigger, fires a little tiny staple. After the narrow crown, we have our medium crown stapler, which fires a staple with a slightly bigger crown than our narrow crown. The staple itself has more material, more mass. It requires more force to drive it. This is where having your offhand on the back end really becomes important. Because if you don't, what can happen is the gun will kick back on you, and then gravity takes over and pushes it back down, and your finger is still on the trigger, and you end up bouncing along, firing uncontrollably, and that is a bad thing. After the medium crown stapler, we have our wide crown stapler, which fires this staple with a really big or wide crown on it. Again, the wide crown stapler requires a lot more force to drive it, so the wide crown stapler kicks back. You have to have your offhand on the back end to fight against that kickback. And then the last tool that I'll show you is our framing nailer. Our framing nailer fires these nails, as in I could pry these apart and drive them with a hammer. For our particular framing nailer, it's a little bit older. It wants to be at about 120 psi. So something kind of like this. The framing nailer kicks back. That is just a reality. You must have your offhand on the back end to fight against that kickback. Drives a 3-inch nail into a 4x4 piece of wood.